A Dad's Guide podcast, episode number 7. Welcome to the show. You ever find that you have no time to do anything that you want to do, like spend time with your family or work on your projects or even spend more time on your job or your business? Well, this episode's for you. The next few series of episodes, I'm going to be reading from my book, A Dad's Guide to Spare Time, Time Management Tips to Free You Up to Do the Things You Love. I think that spare time and time management and productivity is very important in a father's life. Time is the fuel that we all use to run our lives. Without spare time to be able to spend time with our families or do the things we love, then those things just fall by the wayside. I think the content in this book is really important. It's been very important for me as a father, as a physicist, which I do for work, and as an author. The techniques in this book allowed this book to actually come into being because I used the techniques to generate spare time in this book to basically write the book. So without further ado, I'm going to read the introduction to A Dad's Guide to Spare Time, and I hope you enjoy it. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This is what every single one of us gets. Some do more with it, some do less. Some use the time that they have to achieve extraordinary things, something we all hope that we can do. Time is the primordial fuel of our existence. Every single thing that we do requires time. Raising a child, writing a book, working a job, it all takes time. Sometimes I reflect back to my single days when I had all the time in the world. I used to crash on the couch and have epic marathons of my favorite TV shows, or try to beat a Halo game in one sitting. Or I would go out with the guys on Friday nights and won't come home until 3 a.m. To be single again. Having a kid changes things completely, of course. Ever since my beautiful baby girl was born, much of my time has shifted towards childcare. In my mind, this is absolutely the most worthwhile use of my time. I have the joy of raising my own little clone. My daughter's smile totally puts a goofy grin on my face. Hearing her laughter melts my heart and completely makes my day. On the other hand, spare time is more difficult to come by due to the extra childcare chores compounded with my full-time job. And keeping up with the bills, fixing up things around the house, getting the groceries. I crave for my spare time like nothing else because it has become increasingly rare in my life. You're a dad too, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. We live in a hectic world. Whether you are a financier in London, an auto worker in Detroit, or a healthcare professional in Toronto, it always seems like there is not enough time. What little time we get is burned by the things that we feel like we have to do or else. Such as, we have to stay late at work to impress the boss, or else that promotion becomes ever more elusive. We have to shuttle each of our 2.5 kids to 2.5 activities every single week, or else they will fall behind that pesky overachieving kid in their class. We have to always say yes to every request, or else we will feel bad. We have to celebrate every commercially driven holiday, or else we are not doing something right. Most of these things are really unnecessary to have a thriving and happy life, which is really the goal we should be striving for. In the drive to do everything and please everybody, we end up losing sight of what makes us truly happy. The way to true happiness is somewhat outside the scope of this book. The greatest minds in history have tried to crack that chestnut, and most have been properly stumped. I am certainly no philosopher. I do not have the key to happiness in my pocket. But one thing that I'm reasonably certain of is that in order to achieve any happiness, one needs the invaluable resource of spare time. There are few things as influential on your happiness and success as having the freedom to do the things you love. It is really about autonomy. The field of happiness in psychology is revealing that autonomy and choice are the most important factors in a person's well-being, even more so than money. To be able to have this freedom, autonomy, and choice, there needs to be a freeing up of spare time. Without spare time, life whips by in an endless frenzy of rushing to work, packing the kids off to school, doing the house chores, and doing things that we do out of a sense of misplaced obligation. With an abundance of spare time, you have the wherewithal to explore your interests, spend valuable time with your family, and perhaps even build something amazing that will help a lot of people. At the most basic level then, the reason for spare time is really to enable your search for true happiness. I believe that happiness is a state that humans naturally desire that has been confounded throughout history by a lack of spare time. When we were proto-human apes running around on the African savanna being chased by saber-toothed tigers, we had no chance for spare time since we were spending all of our hours trying to eat and not get eaten. When we were poor wretches scratching out a medieval living in the Middle Ages, there was likewise very little spare time. And in today's insane modern world, there is so much to do that we feel like there's barely a thimbleful of spare time at the end of each frenzied and hectic day. We humans need spare time like we need oxygen. Since I became a dad, I constantly looked for creative ways to find more spare time to do the activities that I love to do on my own: reading, writing, and working out. I also want to free up spare time so that I can hang out with my wife and daughter and do fun things together rather than just simply get consumed by chores and work. I sought ways to free up time to pursue creative endeavors, like writing on my dad's blog, working on this book, or inventing something that can change the world. Spare time allows us to seek and pursue our passions and obsessions. Spare time allows us to develop our family relationships. Spare time allows us to work on things larger than ourselves. Freedom, autonomy, choice. That's what spare time buys us. There are actually tons of ways to squeeze spare time out of a 24-hour day, even for a busy dad like me and you. This book exists to show you how. A Dad's Guide to Spare Time takes a different approach compared to other time management strategies. There are no to-do lists here, no ninja-like scheduling gymnastics, and you won't need a stopwatch. Rather, this book takes the approach of changing the way you do things every day with systems and habits. As you follow the material in this book, you will find that spare time magically spawns from out of nowhere. The first part of this book is about how to stop. In a lot of ways, it seems like life is really hectic, but in a lot of ways, we totally do it to ourselves. How much time is wasted in poor pursuits? Are we really obligated to spend time doing things we would rather not do? The answer to these questions is simple and can be summed up into one word: stop. By doing this, a huge amount of spare time can be created right off the bat. In the second part, I will go over the first principle of time investment, which is an analogous concept to financial investment. Financial investment is the expenditure of resources to get a return on investment of money. Time investment, on the other hand, is about using resources, time, energy, and money, to get more time. The second part of this book goes over the first principle of time investment, which is optimization. The third part of this book reviews the second principle of time investment: good habits that naturally spin off spare time. A good habit is like an automated system installed in your brain working on your behalf. Once you develop these habits, they will work for you to produce spare time. The fourth part of this book focuses on how to combat the two-income trap. Almost every family I know that is at the same stage as my family have both parents out in the workforce. This scenario leaves you massively crunched for time compared to having a family with a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad. It is possible to have spare time even when both parents are working. This part of the book shows you tricks on how to survive the modern workday. Finally, you need a reason why to drive your desire to follow through with all of these time management techniques. The last part of this book is about your reason why, and it's also the fun part. What do you do with all of your newfound spare time? My answer: build stuff. Men need to build things to feel fulfilled and happy. Many modern day men waste away by doing useless things like excessive TV watching. Let's aim higher. Men grow and become more powerful the more that we build stuff that is useful to us, our families, and even the rest of humanity. Building a better life and satisfying your reason why is only possible with an abundance of spare time. So let's get to it. No more wasting of spare time dancing around the issue. Let's dive deep and take some action. So that is the introductory chapter to A Dad's Guide to Spare Time. Time management tips to free you up to do the things you love. Over the next few episodes, I am going to be reading other chapters from A Dad's Guide to Spare Time. So if you like the introductory chapter, I hope you tune in to the next episode. A Dad's Guide to Spare Time is available as an ebook on Amazon Kindle and soon to be released on iTunes. And you could also get the paperback and pick that up on Amazon.com. This is Anthony Kim signing off, reminding you to be a great dad right from the start. See you next time.